are encouraged.
Coffee with a Dog is live streaming now. My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
Nope. All right, guys. You, drummer. Guitar player. Good morning, folks. I gotta hit the stop button on that before they start up again, because that band just wants to keep playing that song. And I go, yeah, that's right, sunshine. I have sunshine on my shoulders, maybe. Good morning. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yes, Tuesday, January 14th, 2025. One day closer to hell. One day closer to death. And we welcome it. I welcome it. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, we have a show for you today, if you can call it a show. Here's the deal. Dan Rathman, who's a self-described up-and-coming comedian. Like, aren't they all up-and-coming? When is there ever going to be a comedian who calls himself down and going instead of up-and-coming? Down and going. He's an up-and-coming comedian, but he's not up-and-coming on this show today. He's a friend of Bear Love, was recommended by Bear Love, was excited to be on the program, booked today, and then Sunday night, as I sent him the link, like 5 minutes after I sent him the link, he said, I was going to get in touch with you. I got a job, and I got to be working Tuesday morning, so I can't be on the show. That's understandable. When were you going to get in touch with me? I mean, you knew Sunday, and this is Sunday midnight, like, because I was very late with the links this week. When were you going to get in touch with me? It's like you knew Sunday where the links were coming. It's almost midnight here. A little heads up would be nice. So he's in the promos, but he's not going to be here. So we have an hour of kumbaya or thereabouts. And then in the second hour, Jonathan, I want to say his name right because it sounds like Assley, which Assley sounds like something Ron Kane does in his spare time, or whatever. But he's a midlife dating coach who's going to talk about self-love. Now, self-love is not what Stephen Ortiz does all day long. It's something different. By the way, Stephen has renamed his penis Monday Night Raw because of his self-love addiction. But so midlife dating. Now, I'm way past midlife. I feel like they should be louder. The reaction buttons should be louder. I don't know, and I don't know if we can make them louder. But where was I? Yeah. So I'm way past midlife. I think maybe Ron is around midlife. Steven's pre-midlife. He's a pre-cum midlifer. And GD is just like he's looking for a second life, really. So, you know, Howard Stern used to have the drum on his desk and a little drumstick and a little cymbal back at NBC. That's the way to do it. So yeah, we have a new sponsor to talk about today. Simply Singing. Simply Sing actually is what it's called. It's an app that adjusts to your voice. It gets to know your voice and lets you it helps you fine tune your voice, get in the right key, learn how to sing, adjust notes. Not like auto tune. It's not auto tune. It will show you the notes and where you're wrong. It's a singing app. It's a cool thing. And I wouldn't tell you it was a cool thing if I didn't know it was a cool thing. So I'm telling you it's a cool thing. It means I know it's a cool thing. The link is in the description. We're going to make it a simple link for you for the folks on the radio. But for now, check out.
Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of that world.
I'm not part of this.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be the Little Mermaid myself. Simply saying. Link is in the description. Now look at that. We're all kind of confused over here. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me right now are Ron, the Little Mermaid Kane, Steven, Monday Night Raw. Well, his penis. Oh, geez. Wait, is that a reaction laugh? I don't know. And GD, I don't give a fuck about anything. Henderson. Good morning, fellas.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. And congratulations to Benny Rizzuti of New York, New York. You've won 2 tickets to see us at the Giggle Room on January 24th. Fresh Brewed Comedy. That's what the show is called. I forgot what we called it. But congratulations, Benny Rizzuto. We'll be in touch. Actually, we've been in touch. That's why I can make the announcement. I know you said you'd be happy to receive the tickets and go to the show. And see, that could have been you. You could have won those tickets. All you had to do was share. All we asked was that you share the flyers, share the promos, and you get a chance to win the tickets. Was that too much to ask? You're sharing every fucking
Apparently
thing
it's
else
too
out
much
there,
to ask.
but you can't
Yeah.
say, "Whoa, shut up, I'm talking." You can't share good quality comedy. What the fuck is wrong with you people? I'm sick and tired of this goddamn shit.
I like that.
Whoa, who invited NWA?
Wait, they used to. Who was it who would just like go off and like end up like destroying the set at the end of his piece? What?
Lewis Black?
Saturday Night Live guy. I don't know. It was somebody. Oh, Belushi. Yeah, it was Belushi used to do sports, and he would end the sports thing like that. Only thing he would actually end up breaking the set in pieces and losing it.
Well, somebody on this show used to do that whenever you mentioned Tom Segura, but he ran out of shit to break that he was willing to break.
Right. Poor guy. So yeah, midlife dating. You guys interested?
Yeah, well, I mean, I you know what? It's probably a good thing to learn.
Not midwife dating. Midlife.
No, midlife. I think it's a good thing to learn because, like, when I had to date again at 29, and I was like, oh my god, all the women now have kids. What the fuck? So
so you started dating your kids?
No, God, what the fuck? No, Jesus Christ.
What is midlife? Can you define midlife for me?
Halfway before you're dead. So if you know when you're going to die,
how do you know?
It's
actuaries.
Like 30 to 50, right?
No, it's actuary. What you do is get in touch with an actuary, because actuaries will run the numbers. They check out your lifestyle, and they can give you an approximate time of when you're going to die within a reasonable.
Nobody wants that knowledge.
I do.
Well, I didn't want it either, but they gave it to me. Okay.
I would like that knowledge, and I would them to tell me that I'm going to die at 65. I would like them to tell me that.
Yeah, but how pissed would you be if you're midlife right now?
Well, I'm past midlife. I know that.
Way past midlife.
No, if you guys are both going to live to 130.
I'm trying to think here. This is 2024.
It's 2025.
2025. Okay. I got to do the math. 24.
I had a guy on a long time ago on the nighttime show that was a pickup artist coach. This guy's a midlife dating coach, which, dating, I don't even want to date. I mean, even if I were young, midlife, let's say, I wouldn't want to date. But the coaching advice I would want is don't do it.
I think, I feel, because see, after 2 marriages, I feel like after that, it's just going to be fucking and being done with it. Like, I don't know if I want the stress of having to redate, relearn somebody, reacclimate. That sounds like a lot when you're middle age. Yeah,
Dating is like
sounds
trying
awful.
on people at the it's like the fitting room at the
I don't
department
mind trying
store.
them on. I just don't want to keep them.
Right. Yeah. So
I was talking about the actuary. I think it was in 2017. In 2017 or 2018, I got a letter from an insurance company from their actuary telling me that I had 300 months left to live. About 300 months to live.
right.
What does that break down to? How many years is that?
I think we should backtrack a little bit and ibit on this because I feel like I've heard this story at least 3 times already. But go ahead. No, I don't mind hearing it again. But I think for the audience, you should ibit.
Ibit audience.
Right.
No, I was just saying. So the only problem is in the letter when they said that I have about 300 months left to live, they didn't tell me when the 300 months started.
Right.
Probably from the time you signed the paperwork, which you never did, right?
Here's what I'm curious about that I'm surprised I never asked you about this. Did the insurance company pay? Did the insurance company, first of all, pay for this whole fake phony?
Yeah, they paid because I had an insurance claim against them, and they were trying to run out the clock so that they wouldn't have to pay me. And my lawyer told me they were going to do that. My lawyer says they're trying to run out the clock so that you become too old for it to make a difference. Blah blah blah. So they said the surgery won't help you. You're too old. Blah blah blah. And so they tried to run out the clock. And when they finally conceded and said, "Okay, we're going to pay for your surgery,"
I'm sorry, you
know,
lost me with all that legalese. Blah blah blah. What
yeah, they sent me a bunch of legalese shit once they decided to settle.
blah blah blah.
And one of the things in there was an actuary report, which I don't think I was meant to have. I think it was them trying to find out how long they could delay.
You weren't actually actuary. You weren't actually. Never mind.
Matt, just stop.
I know.
Yes, stop. Your mustache is getting in the way.
Right. No, it's the brain farts are getting in the way. I could see the brain farts within the farting of the brain.
Hey, if my dick is Monday Night Raw, does that make yours Grey's Anatomy?
Yes.
Sweet.
Well, probably like.
Thank you.
Probably
Thank
The
you. That took
Walking
me a few
Dead.
minutes to
More
think
like
of,
The
but I
Walking
got
Dead
there.
is better. Does the court of law actually recognize actuary predictions?
I don't know. That's
You say, yeah, well, an actuary said so. It's got, and how do I get a degree as an actuary? Where do I? Is there a college course?
I think now I'm not sure which comes first. I don't know if you because actuaries and bookies are pretty good at doing the same thing. So I don't know if being a bookie is actuary school or being an actuary is bookie school.
That's pretty weird. Like, so
Well-
you go to Vegas and you do football, and then you graduate to.
Being an
There's gotta
actuary
be-
for an insurance company.
There's got to be something more to the actuary thing if insurance companies use them to determine if they're going to cover somebody.
Right.
Like I said, they must be pretty fucking good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they have to have some sort of decent success rate.
But in order to get like a success record, it takes many years because you have to people actually have to live 300.
Well, I mean, if you look at, a lot of these life insurance companies have been around for a while, so
Yeah,
they've had the time to get that. Plus, if the actuary training involves some sort of field of study, I'm sure they've put ample time into that. There's got to be something to it if the insurance companies can use it as a basis of denying coverage.
Right.
It's like a serial killer. Their first 2 or 3 kills are kind of rough. They're still trying to find out how they like to kill, their method.
How do you know this?
I went to serial killer school. I didn't graduate, okay?
What a weird way to call vet school something, but go on.
But your first few kills, you're still trying to learn what you like, the method, the stuff that and that's the same with the actuary. You're with insurance companies, they're trying to fill you out. They're collecting data, what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, and over time they get really good at it. Like a serial killer, over time they get really good at it, and insurance companies
something like serial killing. I don't think it's something you can afford to suck at. in the beginning because if
Well,
it's
neither can insurance companies. That's why they're
But
canceling
also, DD, I
policies.
feel like you're kind of wrong on the serial killer thing. I feel like everything that I've ever watched, they're like really careful and meticulous at first. Then they get lazy and sloppy and cocky.
No, but in the beginning, I'm saying that in the beginning they're trying to fill themselves out, so they don't
Well, yeah,
know.
that's why they kill animals growing up to determine how
that
they
was
kill
Steven
people.
last night trying to fill himself out. It was called Monday Night Raw. Get it right.
Well, the animal thing is just the urges coming out. They're not working on
Wait,
technique,
they were
and they don't
filling up
start working on
animals.
technique until they kill. Because nobody's really they're not till they start killing their first person. And when they get to their first person, then they're starting to worry about technique and stuff. Because now they have a bigger body to dispose of, and it's harder to kill a person than it is an animal. I mean, it just is.
I'm so confused. I'm actually confused. Um,
He's trying to use that word in every way it can't be
I
used.
was like,
Trying so hard. It's actuarially concerning.
yeah, it's just not.
It's not doable.
So let's come back now. Who's the guy who won the tickets to? Now, wait a minute. Before he's going to see us, not you. I thought you were going to be at the Giggle Room, but it's us.
well, I was pointing to the three comedians, not the one musician. You didn't see who I was pointing when I did that?
Oh yeah.
You
So
see?
so it's us, not you though. You said us, not you.
No, I didn't
So
say you. I
you is
said
going to
us.
be. Wait, us is going to be at the Giggle Room.
Yeah, us.
Okay. Now, who won the tickets to see us?
He. He won the tickets to see us.
He did.
Yeah, don't get the pronouns mixed up, because next thing you know, we'll be us going to see him.
All right.
Oh, they are
And
going to
he's
be
from
so
New York,
mad.
New York. He's going all the way out to Long Island, New York, Long Island, Long Island. Everything has to be said
I
twice.
don't care if he's in.
Look, Ron is in charge. Who soloed Ron out?
I don't know why that was so funny.
I was waiting for a big announcement from Ron. It's like
We all should have just shut up and just let him.
Ron looked like a deer with headlights. He was
I'm
just
not
standing there
smart enough to
staring.
shut up.
This,
If I
this
was
system
smart
is so
enough
shitty.
yeah.
Between the audio and now like Matt's missing again, the system can go fuck itself.
Matt's missing.
I'm missing.
I see him.
Yeah,
I see
on
me.
my end, yeah, this
I-
is just
dude, I'm
shitty.
I
telling
see
you.
me and smell me.
Like I said, when it kicks me and then everybody gets kicked out, I don't touch a thing. It just goes. Like I don't know what it's doing.
How many comedians does it take to do comedy?
Well, the answer to that is one, but they have to be willing. But oh, wait a minute. There we go.
That's
One, but they have to be willing. Yeah.
I'm not sure that reaction thing is loud enough. Is there a volume thing on that reaction thing? No. Yeah.
Why? Oh, never mind.
I can click harder. Do you think it's touch sensitive like a piano?
Like a penis?
Like a piano.
Oh.
Does it surprise you that an up and coming? No, the up and coming part is always like who.
I'm never coming when I'm down.
Yeah, well, who's coming? The up and coming comedians might be a little flaky. Does that surprise you that this might be the case that an up and coming comedian might be a little bit flaky and like not? I was gonna call you after the show to let you know I wasn't gonna be there.
No, it
I mean,
makes sense. It makes
Yep.
sense because I've asked comics to come on here that are out west, and they're like, "Well, that would be this would be 7 o'clock my time or something."
but-
So, yeah, get your ass up.
You know what though? At least they're willing to say no ahead of time because they know they're going to be pieces of shit and not get
Yeah,
up.
this
That's
guy
cool.
actually booked it, and he was waiting for the link. It was late. I got there at midnight on Sunday, and they said, I was gonna get in touch with you to say, can we reschedule? Like,
Oh
what?
shit!
Nah,
That
it's
reminds me,
about the
Mike.
same.
That reminds me, Matt. I have to leave early on the 8th to get my hair done. January 8th. I have to leave early. So I'll be like cutting out right at 11.
Okay. Thank you for the unadvanced notice.
The actuary notice. No,
Actuary notice, yes.
I think we're using that right. I think we're using actuary correctly.
All right. I think it's called Assuary. Assuary.
I thought that was a shrine.
But Dan Rathman is his name. He's a friend of Bear Love, but he's from Kansas City. Now, Kansas City, I don't know if you know, it's the home of James Inman, and that just makes me think
I know you made it. You mentioned it at least a half of 30 times while I was going there.
Yeah.
Well, I always have an issue with any comic calling themselves like some name like that, or hey, like I'm Crotchy McStevens, and it's like, what? Just go by your fucking name.
Yeah. Uh, Dan Rathman. Well, my first college roommate was Dan Rothman, and I've been trying to get in touch with him for a long time. And
He's never going to pay you back that $5.
he's
Just
he's
let it
avoiding,
go.
he's avoiding me because now he's like
But in
he's like
today's
a
money, that's like
prestigious. He's got some uh, cachet to his name and his status in life, and like nobody who knew me then. They think I'm still the guy who I was in college, who I pretty much am. You're right. So he doesn't want anything to do with me. So, but I was just intrigued by the name Dan Rathman because I've been looking for Dan Rothman. Does that make any sense? Like, does
No.
actuary make any sense?
It does. Actuary does, yes.
All right. So I'm yeah. So I was hoping to midlife date him. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah,
but he's probably not into midlife honors. He's probably into bears.
Well, look, is that a carbon dating? One of the two. Midlife dating, carbon is the same thing.
Carbon dating? I'm not dating ashes. That's gross.
Oh, that's post-life dating. That's right. The midlife dating and then carbon dating.
Yeah, I'm gonna be mixed with my wife when we die. Hell yeah. Be in that bitch forever. Sorry.
So this show,
she's gonna say, "Ouch, ouch! You're pulling my ash. Stop! Ouch, ouch! You're pulling my ash."
Yeah, well, I'm gonna stick it in your ash.
I'm all up in that ash today, baby.
Wow.
You need some lotion. You're a little ashy.
All up in that ass.
Your wife black? No.
So, well, she's almost. She's Puerto Rican. She's like, she's about your shade. So.
Wow.
Now I see the attraction.
she's Afro Latina.
Welcome to Actuary in the Morning. Big show you got planned next week. You guys excited? You know what you can have you visualized it? Are you excited about it or no?
Oh yeah, man, I'm super stoked.
I don't get stoked until after things are over with, because I always suspect that there's always another shoe to drop. No matter.
I usually feel better when things
are.
I usually feel better when things are confirmed.
I don't even feel better then. I feel better after it's over with. I've had written contracts that people.
Well, let's see if it fucking happens, because this is honestly, it's
Wow, it's still up in the air. Is this what you're telling me? Somebody already won 2 tickets. It can't be.
But no one's communicating with us.
No communication. There's not been a whole lot of, if any, advertising by.
Yeah, I don't see the club doing any.
The club at all.
I'm on their newsletter. You know what? Is it on their website? Has anybody checked their website?
It's on the website. It's on the website, but it's not like a featured thing. So there's no advertising going on their side either, and it's all on our side. And there's been just.
I'm just trying to check the weather report to see if there's a blizzard coming in.
Nope, it's going to be sunny and 84.
84.
I'm sorry, 64.
Because the day before it's going to be 34.
It's going to be 64 that day because
50 degrees.
Because we are so that fucking hot.
Wow. All right.
I'm bringing the heat. I'm bringing the heat.
Like, if I don't know if we consider this like a special event show, but I kind of like pre-think things like crazy. I overdo the pre-thinking. Never matches the real experience. I just kind of get in my head what it's going to be like, and then I go up there and think, why did I bother pre-thinking this stuff? Nothing.
Yeah, see, I do post-thinking.
Post-thinking. All right.
Yeah, so if someone that works there would let us know what's going on, that would be.
No, the show's going on. Okay, the show's going on. We're doing the show. You know, I got keys. I got keys. I'll let us in.
Yeah, you know, I can't imagine there not being a show there. I mean,
right.
Because it's a Friday night. They're not going to just leave the giggle room naked and empty. Maybe naked, but not empty.
Well, let's see. You still haven't convinced me either way.
No.
Also, I'm gonna be if there's like if there's no pay involved because of the ticket sales or anything, then we're gonna be fucked. Gas wise.
What's this about
Well,
no pay? I'm not getting paid for this.
well, you gotta expect you gotta expect to make no money.
Yeah.
You're
I
gonna
expect to make more money.
No, for this
especially
one I
since
expect
we've been promoting for a month and
I
a
gotta
half.
call my
but
agent. I thought I was getting paid. I'm not getting paid.
we're matching the we're matching the coffee with the dog pay that we receive.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that you said that, Matt's going to double our salaries.
Yeah, exactly. You know, maybe I should start like a wildfire around the club.
No.
No, see, now it's gonna happen. You're gonna be prime suspect.
Warm it
now.
up. This is not, people like to come out when it's warm up.
No, wins. No.
No?
All
right.
You know,
we
I was just,
we want to perform, but someone's got to let us know what the hell is going on and give us some insight. And
we'll be there. We're there.
Well,
Guys,
one of you
people
guys-
buy tickets. Fucking buy tickets. Everybody, just buy tickets. Everybody buy tickets.
Really?
Even if you're buying more tickets than they have available, we'll just add a second show. That's all. So if we were to sell, we'll add a third and fourth show if we have to. Sell 300 tickets. We'll be there for 4 shows. Back to back to back to back to back.
Back to back to back to back to back.
Hey, don't tempt me with a good time. I've done worse and weirder. So.
Well, the most I've ever done is 2 shows back to back in the same day. I've never done 3 shows.
Well,
in the same day.
I performed.
Have you, Ron?
What's that?
Have you done more than 2 shows in the same day? I'm shows, not open mics. Not like I'm gonna do 5 minutes here, 2 minutes there, and then drive. No, I mean.
Yeah, I think I have.
I know you have that. Yeah, because the Circle M, is that what it's called? The campgrounds.
Yeah, well,
those are back-to-back shows.
Yeah,
I did
about recently. It would be them.
I did 3 15-minute sets back to back.
Those
basically.
front to back shows, those are really titillating.
Yeah, the front shows are like docking.
Well, I did 2 15-minute sets at the Brickies World Record comedy thing. One at 3:30 a.m. and one at 7 a.m. and then drove home and then did 15 minutes at a show that night. So 3 in a day. Not 3 in a night though.
I've never done anything back to back. I usually do it front to front, but that's just me.
I did 2 90-minute shows back to back, a 7:30 show and a 10 o'clock show.
Now, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, tags me in everything. I help him promote everything he ever does, even if it's like performing at a car wash, which he hasn't never performed at a car wash.
But you were in car wash, so that you've one upped him there.
Right. But you would think he would kind of just throw you guys a bone and just like kind of mention your show there on his stuff, because I work hard to promote Jackie, everything he does. I mean, if he's going to take a shit, I tell people, go watch Jackie take a shit.
This is kind of how comedy's been for me anyway.
From the very beginning, the first 2 cavemen that did comedy, that's exactly how it was.
Well, Matt, you've seen I share people's shows. I pump people up. I shine light on.
Nobody ever gives back.
It's almost never reciprocated. Almost never.
Actuary reciprocated.
Yeah.
I think you suffer from the same thing that I suffer from. Like in the very beginning, I used to promote other comedian shows, whether I was on them or not, if they were friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I thought it was for the good of comedy. I thought I viewed comedy as a community. Like it's like astronauts. It's a small club, but we're not small. I'm not saying what we do is like being an astronomer, an astronaut, but they know how hard it is to do what they do. When they're doing it right. The ones that don't do it right wind up like Challenger, but the ones that do it right come back to do it again. And so we try. Those of us who believe in the community want everyone to do well, because we don't need bad comics out there fucking rooms up for us. Shows up for us.
Well, that's why I do it too. It's like there, because I have like 3 people that share my shit regularly.
Ooh, your shit.
Yeah, everybody else, it's just like I said, it's not reciprocated. But I agree with you. It's like it's a community thing. I want everyone to eat. It doesn't have to be at my table, but if if I feel like you're good enough to be shared and promoted, I'm going to share your shit, you know? And yeah, it weighs on you. It does. It makes you bitter at times, but it is what it is.
Makes you bitter.
I have to say the
Makes you bitter.
music.
But you want to just start twisting things a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe grabbing some panties and you sniff them a little bit, and makes you want to,
The music community is pretty much the same, except there are people who are not in the music community who will share like my gigs and stuff like that. But I've been for 25 years, as long as 20 years, however long there's been social media, been sharing other musician stuff, and I don't think I've ever seen another musician share mine. But here's the thing: now I got people. IMing me or DMing, what do you call it?
You got people. Wait a minute. You got people.
Nah, I don't own these people. They are
Okay.
they're freelance people. I have individuals who want to keep sending me their stuff now to promote. Like they DM me, like, can you promote this? Like, when did you ever say, can I? But hey, Matt, got anything you would like me to promote? Never. Not once, but I mean at least 10 a day. Could you share this? Could you share that? And it's not just the people who've been on the show. Most of these people haven't been on the show. They're local musicians with.
It's hard enough to even get them to like your stuff, let alone share it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get a decent amount of like post likes and stuff, but again, it's very rarely shared.
From other comedians, it's very rare that there's like 3 or 4 comedians that I know, I should know that if they like something of mine, I'm not surprised that they actually said no, little thumbs up or a laughy thing. Well, I used to be on this thing called Politipod, and this was back during just before the debate between Pence and Harris, the vice presidential debates. And I wrote a meme that was so fucking good, and it was really fucking good. And so another comedian of mine sent me a text and goes, "Man, that was so fucking good. That was so fucking good." And I said, "Well, like it and share it." He goes, I can't, man. I'm a comedian."
All right.
That's literally what he wrote. And I said, "That is so selfish." I said, "I share your stuff all the time." He goes, "You're right." And then he eventually shared it. And then, but it was to this day, it's probably one of the best memes I've ever written. But because it was so timely, it's totally fucking irrelevant now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just forces me to keep grinding, man. Because
is there a voluntary choked?
Yes, there is
people who cancel last minute should be.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to take that off.
He's talking about Star Wars, like using the Force. But no, like I said, the unreciprocation is the thing that just makes me want to grind more, especially locally. Because, like, for example, the of the 2 local clubs, I still can't get stage time at the one, and I'm just gonna keep grinding until it happens. So eventually, it'll eventually happen.
Yeah, I want to give a free ad. This is how I'm feeling magnanimous today. Is that the word? Is actuary magnanimous?
That sounds like a Greek gladiator. I am actuary magnanimous.
Right. Only Zeus 13 on Twitch. You can find only Zeus 13. Hey man, I'm just asking if you need a video editor to edit your live stream podcast and turn it into content that can be posted on your social media, kind of like Opus does for $19 a month. They'll do a billion clips, but this he's gonna do it for you, and he'll send sample work if you hire him. He needs work to chop stuff up, video. If you have, I don't, so I don't need that service. Thank you very much, but I'm giving you a free commercial here. Only Zeus 13 people. If you have a podcast and you want somebody to chop it up for you into small clips that you could post on your social media,
like Kobayashi.
Yeah, he is the hibachi. He is the hibachi chef of clips.
Right. Oh,
they chop it up and serve it to you right there in front of you.
That's interesting. Yeah, hibachi chef.
Yeah. But you don't know that have you ever been to a hibachi chef?
I have.
Yeah.
I've been to a hibachi chef. Those guys are okay.
It kind of weirds me out a little bit. I don't know if I like watching the people cook my food.
Well, no, I definitely enjoy that. I like when they showbiz it up a bit and throw it and all this, flipping it in the air and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but also just give me my fucking fried rice.
Well, look,
Chill out.
either way, look, here you go. Either way, you got to wait for your food to be cooked. So either you're sitting at the table looking at your phone, texting, or you're at the table having conversation, or you're being entertained by the people actually cooking your food.
I prefer conversation, and I'd rather just think that my food's taking too long because it's busy, not because he's fucking making a volcano and a snowman out of my fried rice and my dumpling. Like, fuck, man, come on, I'm hungry. I didn't come here if I wanted a show, I would have had a snack beforehand. Let's go. It's dinner time.
I'm sorry it was late. I was playing with your food.
See, he could be in the back playing with your food. At least here you get to see what he's doing to your food.
Here's my issue, because before I ever went to a hibachi place, when I was 19 years old, I was at a place called I Love Sushi, and in Malibu, California.
Ricky!
Except the guy wasn't Cuban; he was Japanese, and he forced me at blade. He put a blade to my throat and forced me to try tiger eye. I'm not eating fucking. I'm 19 years old. I'm not eating raw fish at that point. No, I'm not doing it. And he forced me. He put the blade to my throat. You try tiger eye. And, so I every time I see one of these hibachi chefs, it just takes me back. It's like a trauma a reboot. It's like I'm back to this chef with a.
You're like a Vietnam vet going to a hibachi place.
Exactly.
There's Charlie everywhere.
Flashbacks. Yeah, that's what it is. It's flashbacks. So but
let's say hi to Davey. This is Davey's first time here, right? I've never seen Davey before.
Hi, Davey Mullen.
Hi, Davey Mullen.
How are you?
Of the New York Mullins.
Where you from, Davey? What you
New York. He's a New York Mullen.
How do you know that?
I don't.
It just sounds like a New York name.
I don't see.
Yeah. If he's in New York, he can buy a ticket and come see us.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Where is that? Oh, now you said see us. You didn't see me. See them. See.
Well, first of all, I'm not that selfish to assume that people who come to see us are just coming to see me.
Oh, okay.
You know, so if that were the case, there wouldn't be an us; it'd just be a me.
All right.
But I'm not that arrogant.
I like me.
That's true. Fair.
Like I said, I'm just not convinced yet because all the cards they're showing is not good.
I want to see Ron's opening set. He'd be like this. I'm not convinced you guys are here.
Ron is
I don't believe you're here.
Comic world. He's a flat earther. He's hard to convince.
Well, I'm kind of in the same boat, man. I mean, because it's.
You can't be in the same boat with Ron. Never mind.
But you can, but don't touch feet.
Right.
Or no docking.
And
I'm flexible.
You can be in the boat with Ron, just don't dock.
Yeah. And no fishing.
That's some sound advice.
Yeah, see, because the sound is a body of water. See,
sounding.
Have you asked Tony Miller to do any kind of check on this situation? Tony Miller.
He shares the flyers and stuff when we do. That's what he's done.
No, I don't think we've talked to Tony directly yet.
No, I've like I said, I talked to him. I was on their show promoting what we do. The show on the 10th. What's the day? Yeah, it was the 10th. I was there. Yeah, the 10th. Promoting, and he was promoting, and we were promoting.
Wow.
We're hawking tickets.
What's that? Now,
we're Stephen hawking tickets.
Tell me about this Monday Night Raw thing. Was it as well attended as it was on the premiere week last week?
I mean, it was a sold out arena again, and they put on a good show. They had a debut of a new wrestler who's one of the biggest free agents in the last 20 years debut, and he put on an amazing show. So it's a good time.
Nobody's complaining about buffering or anything, right? So it's not affecting the network.
I've legitimately had zero issues with streaming Monday Night Raw.
Now, I have a question about the wrestling part. Do they have wardrobe malfunctions? Because I've seen it in Super Bowls. where singers and dancers have wardrobe malfunction. So
I think on Netflix it would just be
Um,
called nudity. It wouldn't have to. You don't have to kind of.
well, they're still trying to keep their PG rating, but it does happen. Yeah, there's malfunctions that happen. Guys
I've never
shit
seen a
themselves.
rating on Netflix. Like they don't rate.
Yeah.
I they do. I never seen a rating.
yeah, it's in the upper left hand corner. It'll say like TVMA, TVY7,
Yeah,
TV.
it's they're trying to keep their PG rating. I don't know if that's gonna be continued once SmackDown moves, but until then, right now they're trying to keep kind of some continuity. So
Now, is wrestling
Continuity.
like it? I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I just thought it's a continuity. It's a new word for me. Every time I hear a new word, I'm
Thank God something
actuary.
replaces actuary.
Actuary continuity. What was the other one you threw in at me before? I can't remember now.
So Steven, is wrestling like comedy? Like, because in comedy you have your clean comics and your dirty comics. Are you dirty like your clean wrestlers and your dirty wrestlers? Or what the
yeah,
ones the ones that will. I know back in the day, back when Boa Brazil was a star. you know,
Give me your dirty love.
no, they had like I know you have like the flamboyant ones, but like the clean,
hmm yeah,
Got the nasty little pamphlet in your
you have
daddy's
wrestlers
bottom
that push
drawer.
the envelope with what they say and what they do. The Rock being the CEO of all of that, he goes on
Oh,
there, says whatever he wants. So
oh! I
I
did not know
mean,
The Rock was the money behind this thing.
he's not the money behind it. The company that owns UFC bought WWE.
Oh, so he's a
So
hired CEO, like somebody
he's
actually hired
he's
him to run the company. Now, what is
he's
his experience? He's not. He's got no executive experience
it's just
beyond.
his face. It's his face and
it's
name.
a face and name. Yeah, the guy that actually runs the business is Triple H. He's the guy that has 30 years in the business. He's been behind the scenes doing executive work for the last like 10 or 15 years with wrestling part time, and now he doesn't wrestle anymore. He's the guy that kind of runs it all.
So,
The Rock is just a face and a name.
a CEO in name only,
Yes.
which is kind of phony. It's
Triple H is like
a
this. I
lot
think
going
he's
on.
the COO.
Oh, chief
He's the
operations
coup.
officer.
He's the guy that runs everything. He's the guy that runs behind the scenes. He books. He gets everything together. He's the guy that runs the. He calls the shots.
Ooh.
So who's the next one in line, or the COON, the next
Or the
coup?
CFO.
Well, see,
I want to be the
until it was
CFO.
until it was bought by the parent company of UFC, it was a family business. Well, it was a publicly traded business, but it was still owned and ran by the McMahons. The only McMahon involved anymore is Stephanie McMahon because she's married to Triple H. So that's it.
All right, clue me in now,
So he
because
fucked his way to the top.
He did
Or she
100%.
fucked her way.
I think it's Netflix. It might be Amazon Prime, where I keep seeing these advertisements for some Vince McMahon. It looks like a scandal video, but
There is, yeah. It started out as a if you watch it, it even says it started out as like a documentary talking about his life in wrestling, and then that's when all the allegations came out, and then it just turned into a slam piece.
allegations of what?
Oh, sexual abuse, right?
Sexual abuse, sexual misconduct.
Him and Linda.
Not just him and Linda, but also other wrestlers, other executives in the company. There was emails that went around of him talking about shitting on a girl while other people were in the room. All sorts
Isn't
of
that a
weird
Nirvana
shit.
song, "Shitting on a Girl"?
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was he had a whole bunch of really gross, awful shit come out, and he's been eliminated from WWE. But now the rumors are that he's starting a new promotion and he's building a roster. So
Well, what if we start a rumor that
Oh.
he's not building a show, and he's not building a roster, that he's just fucking more people?
well, that would be probably better, but I mean, it's kind of like the worst kept secret right now that he's building a roster because he's reached out to a bunch of people. So
Ron, has he reached out to you?
No.
Motherfucker.
we'll see. If anyone would be looking for gay porn stars, it would be Vince McMahon because that's his style of wrestling. So
But Ron's not a gay porn star.
no, but I'm sure he's like
He
3
could
degrees
be.
separation from some.
How do you know he's not? Do you watch a lot of gay porn? Just know that Ron's not
That's
involved.
true.
Well,
All 3 of you guys could be in gay porn. I've never watched it, so I don't know.
I have an inside track to gay porn stars.
I figured with you being a dancer, so that makes sense.
I have
Retired
I
dancer.
have an outside track. There are gay porn stars running around my house. Track.
That's how you keep your house secure. You just have gay dudes run around it.
Yeah.
Well, they are territorial. Gay dancers are
You have
territorial.
a bunch of bears chasing an otter instead of a dog chasing a rabbit. But so,
You know what? That would keep me away from your place too. If there was a bunch of big burly gay dudes running around that could like manhandle me, no, I'm not coming anywhere near your place. I'm good.
Steven,
but you like WWE?
Would you like to buy some cheap viewers on S&M tools or something?
Suck my man tools? No, I'm good.
Wow. Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that wrestling is like full of gay, or not gay. Did I say
It always
gay?
has been.
I meant, yeah.
It's always, listen, again, as a lifelong fan, I will agree it does have its overtones of homoeroticism, but
even besides that, even if we're hetero, it doesn't surprise me that they're abusive and just over the top and just whatever.
Well, the thing is like it's not as widespread as you'd think, because a lot of them it's a sense of community in the locker room. But when you started getting to the size that WWE got, it's no shocker, because Vince McMahon from like 1993 till like 2010 was a god in wrestling. He could do whatever he wanted. He could buy whoever he wanted. He could do whatever he wanted. And then once he got Linda McMahon into the White House, then he felt untouchable. So
it's kind of like if you have like starting off a restaurant and you have a bunch of cooks and everybody's putting it together and everybody's like, let's make this restaurant work. Let's make the restaurant work. Let's work extra hours. And then the restaurant and everybody wants a cut, but one person wants more of a cut than everybody else, and he cuts everybody else out. And you can do that with your chef because you got the knives.
Well, and then the owner of the restaurant gets put on a food magazine and gets a big head, and then does the Hollywood thing. Same thing that David Letterman did and Jerry Springer did, and
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Sleeping with staff and everything else.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know Jerry Springer stuff with staff. I thought he just ran for mayor.
See, no, I first learned about Vince McMahon. It was Letterman's show was at the beginning of his show, like 81, 82. And he was making fun of Vince McMahon. He was having him do like man on the street interviews, like a goofy bastard. And he would just Letterman would just like totally humiliate him and everything. I didn't know. I never knew he was like the power structure behind what was then WWF, but they had to stop calling it that because the World Wildlife Federation.
Wildlife Fund. Yeah. Wildlife Fund or something. Yeah.
Yep. They lost that battle quick.
Oh yeah, because who's gonna fuck with a panda? All they had to do is say "Your Honor" and hold up like a baby seal, and that's it. They lost the case,
right?
Who's gonna fuck with a baby seal or a panda? It's like,
so Vince McMahon's been around a long time because he seemed like an older guy then. I was a kid.
Well, he was, yeah. So his dad originally ran the upper territory that, like, Connecticut. And then when Vince McMahon took over from his dad, that's when he started encroaching on other territories and made it a national thing.
It was like territories, like mob territories, right?
Yeah, wrestling at one point had like mob territories. You had the Northern Territory, which is like Connecticut and New York area. You had the Midwest, which was like Ohio and Indiana and Kentucky. Then you had the Southern Boys, which was like Georgia and North Carolina. Then you had out west, which was like the Pretty Boys out in California.
And there was that one guy in Vegas. There's a Netflix documentary on him who got whacked in a motel room, right? It was like a mob hit on the guy. Do you know who I'm talking about? Or I'm just
no, but that would make sense because they were the mob was involved with wrestling a little bit.
He was like a car dealer who was doing commercials in like a getup, and then he started getting into wrestling and all that stuff. And he was moving in on the wrong people's territory. Also, a bar owner, a strip bar owner, or something. They weren't everything. You know how Vegas is. One business. Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's been the power structure. He's been the backbone of it. Like I said, up until his downfall in 2018 or 2019, and then last year or 2 years ago, he was wrote off TV, and then he was fired. Yeah.
Wow. Now, the guy on the Monday Night Raw on Netflix, is it the same guy? That guy who did the "Oh, you're not gonna believe this, Rosie." That guy from
No,
no.
no, it's
He's like a tip. He's like a wrestler guy from like he's like the stereotypical wrestling announcer. Why aren't they
yeah,
using that?
he I think he's on SmackDown, but on Raw it's Michael Cole, who's been the voice of wrestling for 25 years, and then Pat McAfee from ESPN and football and all that.
Yeah.
ESPN and football.
Well, he was a Colts punter for a little while. For a while, he's a Super Bowl champ, and then he went started his own podcast. ESPN bought it, and then he got involved in WWE, did a couple matches, and became their announcer.
So Matt, why don't you sell this podcast to ESPN so that we can be all rich together?
Because we are the four least athletic people on the planet.
Whoa! Speak for
Believe
yourself.
it or not, there was a time when I knew everything about sports. I was totally a sports head, but then I got off it like a bad drug because it was ruining my life. It was giving me,
Were you losing money? Were you losing money on bets?
No, I wasn't really heavily into gambling because of my father's background. I kind of stayed away from that, but I was having like emotional ups and downs based on a team's performance that had nothing to do with me, and I would let it ruin my life, ruin my day, ruin my week over a football game or a baseball game or a basketball game, and just walk around. I'm like, what the fuck am I so emotionally tied to the Knicks? They don't fucking give a shit about me. They're all partying away and having a good time over the loss. And here I am a week later, still fucking beating myself over Reggie Miller.
When I was in high school, I used to tell my nephew about how those people, like teams and stuff, don't give a shit about us.
Yeah.
We spend all this money on their stuff. Because my nephew had asked me, because I started making jeans. I would buy no-name jeans with no logos, and I would just put my own name on my pocket. That's it. And my nephew goes,
because I think I had your jeans.
Just Glenn on the back or GD, because I was also in high school, GD or Glenn or Dwayne, Dwayne, depending on the jeans.
Nobody comes between me and my Glens.
And my nephew would say, Uncle Glenn, I don't understand that. Why you have your name on those jeans? I said, because I'm not going to advertise someone else's clothes for free. I'm not doing it. And so I would only buy no brand stuff without logos and put my own name on it, my own initials. Same thing with like I'll buy no non-brand name tennis shoes and have my name embossed on the side.
What was the thing from Bananas where we were going to make people change their underwear on like basic odd and even days or something and force them to wear it on the outside so we could check? I think that was Calvin Klein underwear. I don't know. I'm too old, right? I'm too old.
You're too delusional because we're the same age, and I don't remember that shit. I think was that the same time? Was that the same week you gave up sniffing glue? Because I don't remember any of that.
Hey, calm down, Murph.
You think I gave up sniffing glue?
Just calm down, Murph. You'll be okay.
All right. I'm gonna find out about this Bananas.
Hey, Rhodes. Bill. Hey, Bill.
Now, let's move on here. Steven, have you ever really considered flying a plane?
Yeah.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Is that thing you do, that flight simulator? How real? I mean, how close to the actual experience of flying a plane is it, or is it not even?
I mean, with
ears pop when you get to altitude.
No, if with flight controls, it's fairly realistic. The planes all are built to operate like the real thing, so all the switches inside work. You have to adjust fuel mixture, propeller angle. I mean, it's a 1-to-1 replica of the world, and it's a 1-to-1 replica of the planes. So
now, do you get to pick the planes?
If you do free flight, yeah, there's a selection of planes available. Yeah.
So what's the fastest or most difficult, complicated plane you've tried to fly?
Probably the F-16.
Did you kill yourself?
No, it was yes, but
well, either you did or you did. It's just like,
I like to
it was
give
on landing,
both
but
answers at the same time, no and yes.
It was on landing, but yeah, because it was I managed to get the plane on, everything working and into the air, but I didn't not flying it before. I didn't know that how heavy it was, how quick it would drop, how well it would glide, things like that. So I ended up hitting the runway short, and yeah, it was good things.
So, how much does that plane cost? Do they charge you when you crash their planes?
Not if you do free flight. If it was career mode is where it kind of gives you the need to fly better and be more careful. But
so these live streams you're doing, how long do they last?
I don't know, however long me and my friends play. So an hour, 2 hours.
Is there a destination you just flying around, like cruising on a Saturday night?
Well, it depends. Generally speaking, it's we pick a departure and an arrival, and we fly the route. But if it's me and my good friend, we pick a really scenic place. We just cruise around and explore.
Now, what about fuel? Because if this flight simulator is actuarially accurate, there's only so much fuel the plane has. It's not like it's not like the old westerns when a 6-shooter had 12 bullets.
No, so I mean, if you play it, with full realism, yeah, each plane has its its range, depending on the plane. But generally, if we're cruising, fuel's not an issue because we're not flying hundreds of miles. It's just like around the mountains or through the Grand Canyon or.
That's what I'm. Now, can you in-flight refuel?
Have you crashed into a mountain? Because I think last night I saw you like struggling. Like
I did crash into a mountain. Yeah. Well, so we decided. So my buddy and I, for example, if we see like a Jeep commercial, we'll be like, let's find out where that was shot because it's really pretty. So we found a location. It was in the mountains, and he was like, well, there's lakes, so let's fly planes with floats so we can land on the water. Dumb idea because the planes are extra heavy and they don't have strong engines, so they're not meant to climb fast. And there was just no getting away from the mountains. Yeah.
But they don't climb fast, but they do go down fast. So did you try to go under the mountain instead of running into it?
There's no under the mountain.
No, there is under the mountain. Okay, I've seen I don't know how many fantasy shows, and there's always an under the mountain. That's where the trolls and dwarves live.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I just want to on the reality part of it. So, say you crash into a mountain. Do you then eat
your crew?
Do you eat your friend? You eat each other, or it's like a Donner Party thing?
No. Well, so now this is the newest version of The Sims. So now you can get out of your plane and explore. So I did crash it and kind of walked around the mountain until my buddy.
Whoa! You didn't take your wheelchair with you?
No, man, no. Apparently, in this game, there's no disabled people, so
it's not realistic.
Not as well, kind of. I mean, in a real plane, I'd have hand controls, so this is
but you said there are no hands. Yeah, but in a real plane, once you land, you wouldn't be getting out and walking around. Or once you crash, you wouldn't be getting out. So it's not realistic.
It's not. No, not completely. Well, if you have flight damage turned on, if you damage the plane or crash, it ends the flight. You're done. So you're just dead. So, but we turn off flight damage. So if you crash the plane, we can recover the plane and retake off and stuff. But
so it's like you get to do over
party type of aspect of it. When you're stranded on top of the mountain, when do you start eating your buddy?
Usually once he lands and he's not expecting me to hit him in the back of the head.
All right.
Yep.
Now, if you crash and if you're in the other mode when your plane doesn't get fixed, can you call for help and someone come rescue you and you get in their plane and they take off together?
So that's a feature that was supposed to be in there at launch that they're bringing at some point. You're supposed to be able to co-fly. So if, again, when I crashed, if he was to land properly and I could jump in the plane and we could go, yeah.
Now, how much does this game cost you? How much? Hundreds? I mean, I have no idea.
It's available on Xbox Game Pass. So if you pay like $20 a month, you have free access to it. But a friend of mine got it for me for Christmas, so he bought me the premium deluxe version of the game, which was $130.
What did
Damn, that's a nice friend. Did you suck him off to thank him?
I did not suck him off. No, he wanted to be able to play whether I had Game Pass or not. So because if you have Game Pass and you don't, like, for example, I don't have Game Pass right now, so if I didn't have Game Pass, I wouldn't be able to play it. So he was like, well, here, now we can play it anytime. So
Just for the record, guys, if any of my friends get me a gift that's worth more than $2,000, I will suck them off. So no.
well, but I mean, it's as goofy as the flight sim stuff is. I enjoy it just because overall, I'm probably not going to get a chance to fly a plane. I was introduced to a what's it called, Able Skies, which they modify planes for hand control use, and they do scholarships for disabled people to get their pilot's licenses and all that. So
now, can you fly a blimp? Will they let you fly a blimp? Is there a blimp mode? I want to fly a
oh
blimp.
yeah, there's blimps, there's hot air balloons, there's paragliders, there's regular gliders, there's planes, jumbo jets, helicopters, drones.
There's a bananas clip where underwear will be worn on the outside. I'm not gonna play it now. I'll probably
Banana
get a
hammock
copyright
clip.
strike anyway. But I don't
These
remember.
are those are the classic Superman movies where you wear the underwear on the outside.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess I shouldn't be like quoting Woody Allen. He's a bad guy, right? Or is he not a bad guy?
I don't know the answer to
Am I
that.
the
Woody Allen, I thought Woody Allen married some like really, really young person, but but yeah.
But he had her first, so she was his property.
Foulmouth wants to know where you stream. Twitch, right? It's Twitch. You're on a Twitcher. You're a Twitcher.
Yeah, I stream on Twitch. It's at the sitcom, or twitch.tv/sitcom. The sitcom. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna play some news. So, like, really quick news. I don't know why. Why am I playing news? Because I'm gonna become an affiliate for Media Guild. They just started this weird little community over there, and I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do on it. But we'll get to that.
This is News in 60 with Alan Edwards.
Ukrainian President Zelensky has pledged to capture more North Korean soldiers fighting for Russia after 2 were detained over the weekend.
The 2 soldiers from North Korea were apprehended in the Kursk Oblast.
Illegal Israeli settlers in the West Bank continue to perpetrate violence against Palestinians in the occupied Palestinian territory.
The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reported last week that during the year's first week, illegal settlers injured 18 Palestinians while Israeli authorities demolished homes.
The death toll from wildfires near Los Angeles has risen as California officials disclosed that more people are missing.
The Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office announced on social media that it will maintain a zero tolerance for looters policy.
Syria's new leader Ahmad Sharaa has called on Lebanon to move past the negative history stemming from decades of the Assad family's rule, vowing to address unresolved issues.
Unresolved issues? Nothing in that news I really care about. Nothing.
I can't hear the news when you play it, so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why can't you hear the news? Have you seen a doctor? Have you asked the doctor if hearing aids are right for you?
Well, I don't want AIDS in my ears.
Right. Well, that's interesting. So even if I played the audio version, you wouldn't be able to hear it?
I don't know. I didn't hear that.
Did you hear the opening intro with the "Wake up, coffee, sunshine"?
I hear that part, but I don't hear the opening thing. The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and guests. I don't hear that either.
Something wrong with you?
Maybe.
Probably.
Hey, this shitty system doesn't work half the time. So what do you expect?
Hey! Don't talk about the system we're on until we're off it.
Talk about while we're on it.
Because if we talk about we're on it, they may get mad and fuck it up even more.
Just
well, improve your shit, Talk Studio.
Too young to be that angry at the world. Yeah. You have a couple more years to go before you're eligible to be. You get your angry at the world license.
Well, I had to have a repair done to my car, and he quoted me like $250 to $300 to do it. And then yesterday I went to go pick it up. He's like, "Oh, it's ready," and the bill is like $688. And then and so my wife is pissed off, of course, and because we had to rent a car. I had to rent a car this weekend so I could do all my shit, and so that cost me money out of pocket. And then we get this bill, and it's like, what the fuck? Then I talked to him on the phone last night. He's like, well, I called you, and I'm looking at my phone history. It's like, no, you didn't. You called me to tell me the car was ready, but not that it was going to be.
All right, we're
like
going to issue a temporary
$600.
angry at the world license. Just to be, I understand these mechanics. They all need to be wiped out. They need to be whacked.
Well, the frustrating thing is that he's been my mechanic for years. I've had like a great relationship with him. He's done good work, and like this is just bizarre. So I gotta go talk to him today, and like I understand why why it's a little more expensive because it was labor intensive, but I'm still gonna go to him and like you need to like give me 15% off of this bill or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's a big difference. Like it's what? It's a 200% markup from what he quoted you, or
Yeah,
something like close.
it's almost double. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, does he work for StreamYard on the side?
No, because then his garage would be barely opened and probably on fire most of the time.
Well, for all the bullshit with StreamYard, the corporate greed and everything, it worked better than this. It did work.
Yeah, it does.
I miss StreamYard. I have to practice with Restream this because this is our last week. We have a couple more days on this shitty platform, and then next week we'll be trying Restream. I think EvMux I don't know what the hell it is with that. I can't even seem to get started. I can create rooms and all this stuff, but how do you actually stream anything or load it? Have you guys even looked at any of these other platforms? No, you have not. Thanks for all.
I have not. Like I said, I have Restream, and I don't know how to live stream anything on Restream because I've never had I got the Restream to do the what's it called?
Something
Done Way Past Funny, which was not live streamed.
Right.
So I never looked into it.
Yeah.
I started to look into it for other purposes. Then I got to the RSS and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, come on, I got to learn something new. I don't feel like learning something new right now.
I hate learning new stuff. No, I don't really hate learning. I
don't hate it. I have to be in the mood for it.
It's difficult to learn new stuff.
Yeah, I have to be in the mood for it also because I'm at that point where it takes me, especially other people's software, like the OBS. And learning to work OBS is like a pain in the dick, man.
Really? I don't know if you've ever really had a pain in the dick then, because
I have. I just never had a drill in the dick.
I have had a real pain in my dick, and OBS is nothing like that.
Don't be mocking my dick pain just because you had a bigger dick pain.
Yeah, bad dick.
I've never had a drill in my dick. That's true.
I think I'm the king of dick pain.
But I got circumcised at 50.
Wow.
What?
Yeah, so
fucking hell! Oh my god!
Steven doesn't understand. He was out of bacon.
So, I mean, we can talk about dick pain if you want, but being circumcised at 50 and getting your dick drilled by a DeWalt drill when you're 9-10 years old, 12.
That's funny because last night I took a survey. It was about drills, and they said what brands come to mind first. I didn't think of DeWalt. But
well, I'm a DeWalt man. I am. That is my preferred drill.
You'd be a Black & Decker guy. I don't know why.
No, because
Black & Decker, and that's you.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
No, because you get in trouble when you decker. Police will come by. There's some domestic abuse, and they haul you off. They don't want to listen to your side of the story. So
that's why you have to Dicker, not Decker.
Now, I'm curious, of course, and I don't mean bi-curious. What led you to the decision at 50 years old that I got to get the sweater cut, or the turtleneck cut off my cock?
Right. Apparently, you didn't watch my second comedy special or my first one.
I didn't watch anything.
You didn't watch my first or my second comedy special because I discussed it in both of them. But here's the deal: as you get older, your skin loses elasticity. It does not stretch like it used to. So if you get an erection and your skin isn't stretching, it rips. Yes.
Oh, fucking
Yes.
shit. Oh, God, no.
and
Oh,
that's what was happening. Every time I got an erection, my skin would just rip. And
Ow.
so I went to the doctor to complain. I mean, first, I went to my regular doctor first. And I said, here's the deal. I said, I'm losing elasticity. Every time I have an erection, it rips. I said, and it's not always ripping in this. It said, some of the scars is ripping in the exact same spot because that part of the skin has been compromised, but then it gets a bigger rip. So like the rip is getting bigger and bigger, and now you have like these inch-long rips in your skin that are not healing because you're having an erection and it rips even more. So I have all these scars and rips in my penis, in my foreskin.
so your dick looks like the Joker?
It did before I got all this stuff cut off. And so I went to my doctor and I said, so is there a lotion that you can give me so that I can
Lotion.
I can restore the elasticity, I said, because I've been putting lotion on it, but it's not regaining elasticity, it's still ripping.
Hold on.
And so
she said, stop at this portion of the story. Ron, isn't there something you could recommend? You're the lotion guy.
I don't have the foreskin anymore, so it's a little late. I guess anybody else could learn from this. Go ahead, Ron. You can help somebody else.
Crisco oil, maybe?
Yeah, Crisco always works for everything.
But then doesn't your dick smell like bacon?
Isn't the whole point?
Yeah, and what's the problem?
Because dogs will smell your dick a mile away. Dogs will go and sniff anyway. So if they smell bacon, and they love bacon, I've seen the commercial. Bacon, I love bacon.
It reminds me of the time I went to the doctor to get my ass polyps checked, and he was sticking his finger in my ass, and then he said to me, relax. It's very common to get an erection during this kind of stuff. And I said, I don't have an erection, and he said, I do.
That's really fucked up for a dentist visit.
So I guess the midlife dating guy just got scared away.
He's probably listening.
You here yet?
No, he's here.
He's here.
Oh, he's here. Well, if that didn't scare him away, nothing will, right? So we might as well.
He's going to have his own circumcision story. He says, you think you had it bad getting circumcised at 50? I had to do my own at 57.
Wow. Now, how did you know he was here, Stephen? And I didn't know he was here. And you're on your little iPad there, right? Or no?
It announced him. It announced him.
It announced him this time.
I'm wondering how did the lady, the AI lady in the background, how did she pronounce his last name? Because I want to make sure I get it right. Ashley.
I just heard it say. I didn't hear the name. I just heard. I caught the tail end of it. It's here, and I was like, oh.
Jonathan Asley is focused on America's leading midlife dating coaches with over 199,000 YouTube subscribers who listen to his midlife dating advice every, I guess, day or week or whenever he puts videos out.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Good morning, Jonathan.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Oh, I love that wake up energy. Yeah, bring it.
I got my coffee.
All right, cool.
Wait, now, my coffee mug says, "Don't make me go all psycho roommate on you."
All right, very cool. Mine just says drink up. Your last name Asley?
You've got it right.
Okay. Midlife dating coach. Now we were trying to figure out what exactly midlife is. Is it 30? Is it 40?
I say midlife is after baby making years and before retirement. So most of my audience is between 42 and 69, just roughly speaking. That's what I call.
Aren't there people out there making babies in their 80s? I'm not going to mention any stars by name.
If they are, it's news to me. But I would say, generally speaking, that's my demographic.
Wow. Now dating, no fun. When I was 47 years old when I met my current wife, and I told her right up front, like, I don't like dating. So our first date was just like a walk. It's like dating feels to me like the fitting rooms in a department store where you just trying clothes on, trying people on for size. It's like the most awkward, contrived experience ever. What do you have to say about dating?
I'm going to upgrade from the time you met your wife to what dating is today. It's like going to a swap meet, and there are a lot of booths out there with different clothes on, and you're trying to find that right fit. Dating is very challenging today because we no longer live in that tribe environment, that village environment, where you most likely mated with someone that was literally 1 degree of separation at best. So it certainly is challenging today because of some of those reasons.
Wow.
Okay, Jonathan, just for the record, just so you know, the Les Colley, and you probably know him. You may have helped him in his midlife dating. He had he was 92 years old and fathered his 9th child with his 3rd wife.
Good for him.
So his
Actually, I'm not aware of him.
His midlife is 184.
Yeah.
Wow. Very interesting stuff there.
I mean,
good
yeah.
for him, or bad for him. I'm not sure. So what exactly do you do as a dating coach? Do you work with people one-on-one? Like, I'm going on a date and I need to know what to do Saturday night, or is it just like more just based on the YouTube stuff and that kind of stuff? What exactly do you do?
So from a coaching perspective, I predominantly work with women, and the reason being is, we are all guys here. We oftentimes, when we're lost, we don't go seek directions. Where we're driving somewhere. This is pre Google Maps and Waze, and even Thomas Brother guides. For some of us who knows what that is, we figure we'll just try to figure it out. Where women tend to prefer to seek directions more often. When they're lost, they'll go to the gas station and ask the guy for directions. I'm kind of using
that's only because the guy at the gas station is usually shirtless and hot and sweaty.
Yeah, probably. But for the most part, men tend to seek advice on how to meet women, and women tend to seek advice on how to make a relationship work. And that's mostly what I tend to work on.
All right.
Now, what about how to win an argument with the person once you're in a relationship? Do you teach that class?
No, I will say this. I'm not necessarily a coach working on effective communication skills. There's an amazing book that every human being should own called Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. Because you just said argue. Conflict resolution is one of the challenges most couples have to a healthy, happy relationship. They don't know how to resolve conflict very well. And every relationship is going to have conflict.
Well, I know how to resolve the conflict. My wife doesn't know how to let go and let it be resolved.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you probably operate from the premise, I'm right and you're wrong.
No, I operate from the premise that this is an issue, let's work it out. And my wife operates from the premise of, I'm going to win this argument at any cost.
Okay, so she's operating from I'm right and you're wrong.
Yes. And I'm operating from the place, let's resolve this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, honey, I didn't mean to say that out loud. You're right.
People don't talk to each other. That is the main issue, because everyone, to me, like, I have some single friends, and it seems like people now operate between this weird median between like new technology and kind of like going by these old dating rules. And like no one talks to each other, and God forbid if you talk about sex, because then it gets weird.
Well,
why can't people just?
By the way, so I want to address that, Ron. I want to address that, Ron. It's they don't know how to talk to each other. For one, they don't know how, and hence why they don't talk to each other. But it's interesting you bring up sex, because recently I did an interview with a woman who is a sex educator in the kink world. And what's fascinating about the kink world, as one example, is they talk about sex at a very granular level, asking about their individual desires. And I was like, well, we should do that same thing in the dating, in the non-vanilla world, or excuse me, the vanilla world, is we shouldn't be afraid to talk about what our sexual preferences are, but it tends to be taboo for the most part.
Yeah, because wouldn't you rather find out? Wouldn't you rather find out?
Right on the
wouldn't you rather find out at the beginning of the relationship instead of 2 years in that the other person's into being a furry and likes to be, shat on and things like that.
Yeah,
That's like that should be like within the first month type of stuff. You should be
First
I'd
month.
say
That
the
should be
first
first date
date.
stuff. That should be before the first date. That should be like.
I agree.
That's why. See, this is why my philosophy is your first date should be at a comedy club. That way you find out, because their guard is down, and you find out what they're like by what they laugh at and what they don't laugh at. See,
You know what? I really like that idea. I actually had a first date years ago with a woman. We went to a comedy club because she was an amateur comedian. And our second date, she was doing an open mic. Sadly, she bombed.
Wow, that never happened before. Yeah, and you know what? It's never happened before. I've never heard anybody be referred to as an amateur comedian. I can't.
Well, I just meant, I guess I'm old school.
I like it because there are a lot of amateur comedians out there.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yes, this is. But so talking about this, I do agree you should have full disclosure and get that, especially if they're. If you're into the kind of stuff that Ron's into, and if you know Ron, but I mean, you should put all that stuff on the table so that if it's cool from the beginning, it's going to be cool 10 years from now, or even 10 months from now, rather than, oh, by the way, let me bring out my torso sex toy and let's have fun with it.
Well, the challenge with our dating today is most of us grew up with the, precept that, men are supposed to climb to the highest room of the tallest tower to prove a woman she's worth it. And we often hyper focus on romance as the entry point into a relationship instead of actually determining, are we really compatible with one another? And, obviously sex is maybe not something to talk on a first date, but certainly before you're physically intimate, we shouldn't fear having these granular conversations because that's how you get to know another human being.
Right. You talk about self-love, at least in the literature that I've read about you.
Yeah.
Self-love. I'm the king of self-loathing. I can't wrap my head around this. How do I begin to even like myself? Never mind love myself. Talk
I just pictured as you shared that, I was thinking of Woody Allen for a moment, but self-love is really.
Hold on. Was it the Bananas movie where they wear the underwear on the outside?
No, I was thinking of the movie Ants, where he's talking to his therapist about being one child of 6 million, and how his mother didn't give him love. But anyway, I was projecting on you a little bit.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Woody Allen this morning, but the Bananas thing, and I just thought maybe there was just like some kind of synergy, universal, whatever. I'm an idiot.
So self-love is kind of I just want to address this for a second. I think of words like self-worth, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-reliance, self-discipline as wrapped up in the word love, because as you said, and it's so true, we human beings have a propensity to flog ourselves, to loathe. And it's like, imagine a little child that was doing that. You wouldn't want them to suffer. As a parent, you want to give them love. So self-love is giving yourself the love that you couldn't get from mom and dad or from some other human being.
I think my mother would have just let me beat myself and say, I'm sure you deserve it. I'm sure you did something I didn't catch, and I can't beat you all the time. Yeah. You're giving me a break.
It's difficult to me even to start to figure. I'm good at, and I know when I was active in dating or having relationships or whatever the hell I did, good at faking self-confidence, self-love, or self-esteem and all that stuff. But deep down, I've never liked myself right from the beginning. And I don't know. I can't imagine how I would begin to start to appreciate myself as a person, because I'm too honest to myself about all my flaws and what a shitty person I am. That at the end of it, got any?
Well, your wife obviously cares about you, even in the face of all of this self-loathing. So you must have some redeeming qualities within you, man, dog.
Actually, his wife is a mechanic, so she likes fixing things.
Well, that made sense then. Yeah. You're a project.
I always said, when I was dating, I used to say to women that I was like a project, and they could make of me what they want. One girl, she was talking about uh, what I wear, like my wardrobe and stuff. I said, you could decorate me any way you want, but my typical thing is just a t-shirt and sweatpants. That's what I am.
But the thing is, that's because, now let's be honest, Matt. Back then, when you were dating, your first priority was music anyway. So you didn't care how you looked as long as you got to play music. You didn't care who you dated as long as you got to play music. You didn't
Absolutely.
care what they did as long as you got to play music.
That was the main complaint of women in my life, is that, and my wife used to say, "I wish he would hold me once like he holds that guitar."
Yeah, my wife got tired of me fingering her like I fingered my guitar.
Yeah. So basically, is your whole I don't want to say business model, but is everything you do based around the YouTube channel, or do you do, like, you go out and do talks and that kind of stuff? Like,
Yeah, no, I mean, to some degree, YouTube probably represents 50% of my time from a professional standpoint. I do a group program I have a membership program for women, as well as individual coaching. And sometimes I do speaking gigs as well. And sometimes I'm a guest on a podcast like this, but that's kind of the buckets of where I spend my time.
are you married?
I am not married. I'm single. I'm in the trenches, just like everyone else.
Here's the thing: you got this YouTube channel with 199,000 women. I'm just thinking you are like, you got to be like king of the Players Club right now. No.
Well, let's just say if I wanted to take advantage of that pseudo celebrityism, I could. It's just, by the way, I get hit on by tons of women, but it's all over the country, and I live in Los Angeles, so you better be geographically available if we want to meet.
Wow. I mean, this is way off topic here, but are you affected by the fires you're dealing with?
Thankfully, I'm 20 miles south, but sadly, I've had a number of friends who have lost homes. And
I mean, it's
really
just
sad.
it's terrible. You know what? It's so depressing that I'm having a real tough time just kind of even processing any of it. It's one of the worst tragedies in my memory. And so
I had lunch in Malibu 2 days prior, and surprisingly, the restaurant I went to, Mastro's, for lunch is still standing, but all the other places, up and down the street are gone. I mean, it is just so effing sad.
Terrible thing. So now with the majority, can you quantify, like, on a percentage basis, how many of your followers of that 199,000 whatever on YouTube are women, and how many are men?
Yeah, actually, YouTube gives me that stat. So, and by the way, I topped 200,000 just this last couple days ago.
Congratulations.
Which is kind of a nice milestone. When you hit 100,000, YouTube gives you this nice silver plaque. But 93% of my followers are women. And I guess the balance being 7% men. Of that, the average age is between 35 and 65 is the predominant. I mean, each bracket has about 25% of women in each one of those age brackets.
Wow, interesting stuff. Now I'm surprised that women don't seek out other women for this kind of content.
So one of the benefits of having a guy give them, well, first off, my original coaching was helping women understand men, particularly divorced men, because coming back to why I said midlife, roughly 75% of singles over 45 years old are divorced. So I went through a divorce 15 plus years ago. I was a train wreck. I was an emotional, I was just a basket case out in the dating marketplace. So I started to teach women how to recognize guys like me, kind of like the thief that helps FBI, in their practice. That's kind of the way I operated.
Wow.
I know after my divorce, my first divorce, I had a rule that I developed back when I was dating. Back when I was dating, if after I broke up with someone, I would not see anybody for 3 months.
Yeah.
So I could recalibrate myself, because I'm gonna speak for other people, but I always made some kind of compromises in my life and my personality to accommodate the other person I was sharing my life with. And once they were gone, I would recalibrate to so I could find my new base, and then start dating from that place, as opposed to
Now we're,
And I did the
getting
same
to the
thing when I
real reason he
divorced.
got a circumcision at 50.
What was that about your circumcision at
I
50?
said we were getting to the real reason behind the circumcision at 50.
No, the real reason, I told you the real reason. It was because,
All right, let's not go through that again.
Just joke. I was just
No,
making a
but
joke.
I want to address what JD said or GD said. It's a good idea to recalibrate, to take a little bit of time off. It's so interesting. About a month ago, I connected with a woman on a dating app. And, like within 5 minutes, I said, "So when did your last relationship end?" And she said, "Last night." And I'm like, she was on the dating apps literally within 12 hours of a relationship ending. And she goes, no, it'd been over. We were in a 2-year relationship. It was over for a year. I said, reach out to me in 6 months from now, when you've actually had time to process the ending and create a little bit of space, because I'm just a rebound person to you in this moment. So yes, I do agree. It's important to take time to recalibrate and detox from a previous relationship.
The night before is bad, but my ex-wife was on the dating apps like 6 months before we got divorced. So
that's what I was thinking. This woman had probably been on there before just last night. Anyway,
you think that was bad? She was on a dating app 6 months before, but she was on another man 7 months before.
Oh, I know, I caught her.
Ouch.
I know, I caught her. That's the thing.
That's a joke, isn't it?
No.
No,
I caught my ex-wife cheating 3 times.
So I've been in bands most of my life, but when I got around 40-ish in the band, playing clubs all the time, what I noticed was our audience started to change, and we were getting a lot of recently divorced women who were just there looking for a husband or a next guy, and a lot of them would hit on the band guys in the band, and everybody in the band was married at that time. Everybody got divorced, but also we got to know the regular crowd, and almost all of the crowd was married in the beginning and all got divorced. It was like we were the divorced band. But at that time there was a younger woman who I was like 40 and she was like 27, 26, something like that, and she was very into me. And then one of the regular women, she said, "You're just going to be a transitional man to her." And I was like, "What do you mean by that?" She said, "Well, she needs a guy to break up with her current boyfriend or husband or whatever, and get away from him, and you will be that in between guy before she finds the permanent replacement. Like you're just going to be used." And I was like, "Yeah, you're crazy. She's really into me." And it turned out to be true. And the more I got to like be a watcher of people in that situation, I noticed that happened a lot. There was always this transitional guy. Do you find that to be the case? Like,
It's interesting. This was, like I shared with you, I went through a divorce 15 plus years ago. And I remember about 6 months being on the dating apps, and I connect with this woman. I was really attracted to her. And she said, "How long have you been divorced?" And I said, "Well, I'm separated." And she goes, "Write me back in 2 years after your divorce and you've had 1 or 2 transition relationships." And I go, no, I'm ready for a relationship. I'm ready for a relationship. And then sure enough, 3 years later, I was back on the dating, apps, and I saw this woman. I wrote her back. I go, "You are absolutely right." I end up having 2 short-lived experiences in the course of a couple years. I think what happens is, particularly after divorce, depending on how long 2 people have been married, we all have a fantasy of what we want in a relationship, but most people at midlife really oftentimes just don't know what they want. They don't know how to blend lives with another person. They don't know how to assess the person's values. They don't know how to assess someone's emotional maturity. And so it's kind of like I said before, they're at a swap meet trying on clothes, but they don't even know what they want.
Right.
Or what size they wear.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think, because I always I tried to live this whenever I was in between, that it's really important to just be alone and learn to be happy on your own. And for me, I'm actually happy my own most of the time. But I felt like, if you can't be happy alone, you can't be happy not in a relationship. Then you're just looking for somebody to compete you. That's not a healthy place to be in, because you're not coming at it from an honest perspective. You're saying, what's in it for me always, and rather
Yeah.
than. So what's your take on the idea of just being alone, being.
No, I'm a big proponent of individuals spending time learning to be happy with your own company. I mean, really learning to enjoy your own company, because then you're not operating from a dependent place. I mean, for hundreds, think about it, for 50, 100,000 years, we made it from a place of dependency and survival. And it's really kind of only in recent history that we can choose someone that we could actually partner with. But if you can't be a good partner to yourself, how can you be a good partner to another human being? So, Mind Dog, I completely agree. It's learning to appreciate your own company.
What about the concept of monogamy? I've talked to several lady relationship experts on it. I'm one porn star about this subject. When I was 15 years old, my best friend and I were in a corner of his house, and his father and mother were in the living room yelling because the father had been caught having an affair, and they were having this brutal fight. What happened? GD.
Yeah.
GD. You took over the place again.
I wasn't trying to.
Well, unspotlight yourself. How do you unspotlight yourself here? Now
we lost them all together.
Yeah, there he is. I don't know what happened there. Stop pushing buttons. Don't ever.
I'm not pushing buttons.
Yeah,
I told you.
Watched you pushing buttons. Now,
I'm returning a text. Somebody's trying to set up an appointment with me for two.
Don't return the text. Just let them wait.
I can't do that.
Let me finish where I was. So we were in the house. The mother and father are having a fight. The father walks out of the living room and into the foyer and spots us. And he looks at his 15-year-old son, and I'm 15 too. And he says, "Men were not meant to be monogamous." That's his explanation to his son, and that stuck with me. And I think there's some truth to that. I don't know, but it's hard to let go of once you're 15 years old and you adopt a belief like that. What is your take on the state of monogamy? Are we supposed to be monogamous? Do you think human beings are meant to be in a one-on-one, lifelong, sustaining relationship?
I think this is a great question. I mean, I would say from a from a cave person perspective, we men were designed to spread our seed. But I think monogamy is a conscious choice. I think monogamy is valuable for those people who want a partnership relationship. Today, we have a variety of different relationships. We have hooking up, we have friends with benefits, we have situationships, and we have casual relationships. And so, actually, today we have less serious relationships than ever before, because most people who are not married fall into the category of casual situationships, friends with benefits, or hooking up. You have to want monogamy. You have to want partnership. Otherwise, I mean, you have to, for the guy, if he wants that, he's going to be monogamous. If he doesn't want that, he'll choose a casual relationship, or hooking up is his method of whether it's getting off or companionship.
Yeah.
But I think of all relationships as being serious only because the fact that even if your quote relationship is casual sex on Thursday nights after bowling or something, the sheer fact that you have like rules, expectations, and stuff like that, every relationship, if it's going to last, has to be nurtured, because relationships, in my humble, correct opinion, are living, breathing things. And so if they're not nurtured, they die. And so you have to treat a relationship, if you want to keep it, as a serious thing, regardless of how casual it is.
But that's if you want to. I'm serious is really the difference between wanting to and not wanting to. There are a lot of people that just want pure companionship, connection, and sex, but they don't want anything beyond that, so they're not going to nurture it, is kind of, in my mind, the difference between serious and not serious or casual. Yeah, I mean, you could have some degree of nurturing in a casual relationship, but here's the challenge.
That's what I'm saying. If you stop nurturing it, the relationship ends.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily.
Yeah. You could stay in. You just have a bad.
Do you know what's sad, guys? I witnessed.
I'm an empty cake plate.
I recently had a woman reach out to me and she said, I've been in a 9-month relationship. And I'm like, really? Great. How often do you see each other? Oh, we've never met. We just talk on the phone. You know, it's not a physical relationship. It's a cyber relationship. And I'm here to promote relationships where two people are actually seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yeah. I used to have a brother up until
exactly what Ron just did. That to me is a relationship.
Yeah.
You just have to talk because, I agree with what you're talking about, but also too the other aspect of this, especially when it comes to sex, there's just so many options, and it's so easy to pursue those avenues versus even like 10 to 15 years ago. And
well, yeah, you can order a booty call and a pizza on the same phone.
On the same app. I think it's DoorDash.
But then again, it comes down to people don't talk to one another, and even from the start, and so they never realize, well, like one person likes to be monogamous, but the other person prefers like a more open situation.
So, and I want to address Ron for a second, because I think this boils down to
you said undress.
Did you say undress or address?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Got it.
I think you said address. No, but I want to agree with Ron here. I think ultimately it just depends on knowing what you want. If you know what you want, then lead with what you want and find someone else who wants the same thing as you, because they're not talking, as you said, or asking questions or getting to know one another. They're actually look at, you know what most people have? They have this.
Oh.
They have duct tape over their mouth. They have duct tape over their mouth.
Where can I get one of those for my wife?
I got a whole roll in the garage.
I knew it. I told you he's an abductor. No, I'm just kidding. No. I wouldn't have bet. No.
I used to have a brother up until election day, and that brother I had was he was divorced twice. He's 72 years old. He's had prostate cancer for like 40 years now or something. He's got to have all kinds of cancers. But every time I talked to him, he was like, he's in a friend zone with a lot of women because he's also in like rehab groups and all this stuff.
Okay.
And in the friend zone with like many, many women, all these rich women who he's friends with. And he's desperately trying to get in a relationship with them. And I'm saying, why? Why? Haven't you learned enough? You've been through 2 divorces. Why don't you just get a dog? If you're just lonely and you need some companionship, just get a dog. You got to.
But he's not saying he's lonely. He's saying he's horny. There's a difference.
Yeah, you can't sleep with a dog, man.
You can, but you're getting a lot of trouble, especially once the video leaks.
Part about the prostate cancer, and that kind of cuts sex out. So
there's still oral, and there's still fingering like a guitar.
Whatever. But why do we feel like if monogamy is a choice, right? Why do so many of us just feel like we need that? We always need to have somebody. I want to be single again. I want to be single again. Then you get single again. You're like, I'm ready to date again.
Endorphin rush.
Well, a good point. Endorphin rush. I think to some degree we're designed to be mated. To some degree, we're designed to do that. But today we get to do it part-time, because of, what was it, the app you talk about? You can get a pizza and a hookup at the same time.
If the hookup isn't there in 30 minutes, do you get like some kind of discount?
You get the pizza for free.
You get to have sex with a Ninja Turtle.
That was one time, and I told you that in confidence.
All right, I'm sorry.
Now, I know when my current wife and I first started dating, actually, we weren't dating yet. We were exchanging body fluids. And I told her that you're going to have to let me know when we're dating, because I have been with people for a period of time and not know that we were dating until after we broke up. So you have to tell me when we're dating.
Okay.
And then, after like the 3rd or 4th bodily exchange, she goes, we're dating. That's okay. Now I know how to behave,
You know, it's funny. You said GD. You said current wife, as if there might be different ones in the future.
Well, I call her my forever wife.
Okay.
Because I've had.
You didn't just call you called her your current wife.
I know when she and I are talking, I call her like in my little love notes. When I send her love notes and cards and stuff, I address her as my forever wife.
Right.
Aw, what a sweet guy.
That's so gay. Listen, I'm glad you said forever wife, because I when I'm on stage, I have this bit that I do, and every time I say I'm like current wife, not now wife, like I could never think of the words.
How about just my wife, Steven? Yeah. Just say my wife.
because the future is uncertain.
But you're in present. See, that's the other thing. Because when I'm talking to Carol, I don't call her my wife, and she says, "Why don't you call me your wife?" I said, "Because that sounds like a possession, and I'd rather say that we're married." Like so, when we're in public and I introduce her, I don't say this is my wife. I'll say we're married, but I won't identify her as my wife. Because
but you have papers like on her, though.
Huh?
You have papers on her, though.
Yeah.
Well, I also have papers on my cat and papers on my car. See, I don't like the possession thing.
If mine said to me, "Why don't you call me your wife?" It's because I'm thinking of you as an ex. Now, how do you measure the success of your coaching? Because you can't keep track of 199,000 subscribers and how they're doing, right? How do you know?
I don't keep track of it. Honestly, if people find value in what I do, I'm blessed to be able to make a difference in some. The way I keep track of it is for lack of a better word, when I get that message, thank you, you made a difference in my life. Thank you, you made a difference in my life. That's kind of how I measure my success.
Is it all hetero people following you, or there?
No, occasionally. No, I get occasionally. I do get some gay or lesbian people. I get men reaching out to me too, but for the most part, I'd say 93% are.
Now, have you ever gotten one of those thank you notes, and then then the next day you see that they're a suspect in a mass murder? It says, "Thank you, you made a difference in my life," and then they go out and start killing their exes.
No, thankfully I haven't had that, but I did talk to a woman who escaped a serial killer, and I mean it was legitimate. I looked it up in the news.
The duct tape didn't stick, did it?
Yeah, this one's falling apart. Well, by the way, just for the record, the duct tape represents how we oftentimes, going back to Ron, we're so silent in our communication. Not that Ron is silent. I just meant he
really is, though. He really is.
And he also has lots of duct tape.
I don't know if you from Ron used to do. He used to be big in Vegas. He was part of a act called Penn and Teller. He's Teller.
Okay.
So.
I see the resemblance.
It's because like my relationship is so different than like anything that you're describing, and I've been married a long time. I'm very happy with where we're at, but my relationship represents nothing that most people would consider normal.
Wow.
Give us one example of how yours is not normal.
His wife likes him.
He always wears a hat, even in bed.
Well, I mean, for the most part, we've been open our complete relationship, except when we were having our kids and things like that.
Open as in you can see other people.
I said the one thing that Ron should have mentioned, and this is the one thing that's important, especially because those who are in entertainment. She was honest to Ron in the beginning and said, "Ron, you're not funny. You need to work on that."
Right.
That's communications. Because my wife,
you're not
it was
good
great.
looking, and there's really
great.
nothing redeeming about you. That's what.
Now, when you say open, do you mean like open to each other, or do you mean like seeing other people?
Kind of both. I mean, our communication level is very good, and yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I guess I get that. Like my marriage.
But I would also say to other people is that it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not what you really think it normally is. And that's why I hate I have such a disdain for poly people, because it's they're like, well, I'm going to date this person for this and this person for that. And they have like 10 different people. It's like you no matter what, no matter what you're building, you need a strong foundation in the end.
Yeah.
And see, I agree with you, Ron. But some women I recommend if they're single and they need a car mechanic, to date a car mechanic, and if they need a plumber, date a plumber. If they need a doctor, date a doctor. So they can cut down on expenses, because being a single parent, it's rough. So yeah, use your assets and date a car mechanic, get your car fixed, and then date a doctor, get your vagina rejuvenated. Date a plumber, get your pipe.
Yeah,
but I want to touch on something that Ron said, because one of the benefits of what their relationship seems to have is they have open, honest communication with one another, because they know they're. I mean, I don't know if you hooked up with a woman the other night, you tell your wife that, but certainly you have the agreements in place that if that does happen, you're open and honest about it.
Yeah.
He says he hooks up with 40 dudes every weekend.
That's an open mic. That's an open mic.
I agree, though. Communication's huge. My wife and I, because we both came from really bad marriages, where there was infidelity by our partners. And so we didn't want to come into it being insecure and being, that stereotypical, I was cheated on, I can't trust anybody. So we laid out, our whole past to each other. We made agreements of brutal honesty going forward. And, it's eliminated all the bullshit that you normally find in a relationship. There's no secret keeping. There's no, there's none of that BS. Phones are open to each other. There's just there's nothing to hide, because
So I have a question for you, Stephen. So you obviously shared your wife cheated, and let's just give her 97% of it was on her. What was your 3% that was your responsibility? Why did
he took pictures? He took pictures.
Okay. What can you own? I want to know, what is Stephen gonna own? Even though she was the protagonist here, what part do you own?
That I never hit her back. That's the part that I own, because she was physically and emotionally abusive. I was kept around for a paycheck, is what I was kept around for. Wow. So
you on not a covert level, but you were agreeing to this relationship, even in the face of knowing what was going on. You were still enabling the relationship.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because of how I was raised, when there's a child involved, you try to make it work. You try to keep the family together.
Also, he couldn't leave her because she co-signed for the wheelchair. If he left her, she got to keep the wheelchair.
Finance.
And he wound up crawling back to her anyway. See what I did there, Stephen? I took your joke and I stole it and I redid it.
If Jackie the Joke Man took my joke and retold, I'm sure it'd be fantastic. But when you do it, it just makes me want to stab you in the eye.
It would make more sense for Landau to do it, since you've been stealing all of his material.
I don't steal his material.
Oh, just accidentally shows up in your act.
And I stole your joke right there in front of you, and I admitted to it. I admit to my 97% of cheating on you right there. That's my 97%.
And now I'm going to own 100% of driving to New York and stab you in the eye. So
Amen. Take ownership.
Jonathan, I'll never take ownership over GD. We don't allow that.
Yeah, they stopped that in 1865.
Yeah. We need.
Us be free, boss. Us be free.
Comedian relationship counseling. There's a need for that.
There's no doubt. There's a need for comedians. They need an on-call therapist 24/7.
So let me.
I got one of those.
How do you become a dating coach? Is there prerequisite education that goes into it? Do you just have to go through a lot of relationships on your own?
I can tell you, I'm going to give you the quickest Cliff Note version of my journey. I went through a divorce. I was online dating, thinking I'd meet the one, I'd meet a nice woman, something wasn't right. I'd meet another woman, something wasn't right, and meet another one. In 1 year, I had over 100 first internet dates, my first year out of my divorce. I realized that the something wasn't right was me. But guys, here's what happened. I'm talking to women incessantly every night. Sometimes I had 6 instant message box going at the same time, talking to women, listening to their stories of divorce, listening to their relationship experiences, just as friends in many cases. And then women used to reach out to me, say, Jonathan, would you look at my dating profile and help me make it better? And I'm like, sure. So I gave him advice on how to make it better. And then 3 weeks later, I get a call. Would you check out the guy's profile and tell me what you think? I've got this date with this guy. And that's how my business was birthed. And I'm giving you the Cliff Note version of how it got started. I helped women improve their profiles, and then I gave them insight into men.
I almost want that. I want to be the guy that women come to and say, could you check out this guy's dating profile? Let me know what you think. That would be a fun
I'll tell you guys something. I jokingly say, you know how the FBI have profilers for serial killers? Yeah. I can profile serial daters, serial monogamists, nice guys, bad boys, and the right guy for you is what I say. I have a knack for figuring out people fairly quickly.
I think I could probably be good at that, but I would not want to do it even just like for fun, because then it would be in my browser history. Like, why do you look at all these guys who are dating? I don't want that to happen. Then I'd be like Steven. I'd have the same.
Now, with my first wife, all my male friends liked her. All my male friends like, oh man, she's great. You've got to marry her.
I bet they did.
And my female friends are all going, you can't marry her. She's like poison. And I'm like, well, no, you just want some of this. And like, no, believe me, it's not that. She's poison. And I married her.
Of pussy.
And I married my first wife, and sure enough, the women were right, the guys were wrong.
Wow.
You know. Now, and the thing is, I'm usually a very good judge of character. But I was looking for
here?
Huh?
What are you doing here?
There's no character to judge.
Oh, that's a good point.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, John.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt
making
you.
A point. Did you? Oh no, you weren't. You were just talking again.
I was just talking about myself. That's all I do. That's what I get paid to do.
So is this a lucrative? I hate to. I'm not like asking about your finances, but is this a thriving business model? Can we start a franchise?
Well, I mean, I'll just simply say I make a substantial 6-figure income.
Wow. Very cool.
Where's the decimal point? Is it like $30 and then like 4 places after the decimal?
It sounds like a fun.
I have fun every day. I mean, believe me, I have to listen. And since I work with women, and no disrespect to the women who might be watching this, women have a propensity to say in 10,000 words what men can only hear in 10 words. Right. I do have to sit through a lot of story, but I'm good at holding space. I'm actually good at picking the pony in the shit, so to speak. So I'm actually very blessed in that way.
I find what you just said to be the story of my life is that I have trouble listening to women who want to be too descriptive. Like, how'd your day go? Well, I stepped outside and there were the sun was shining. There were blue flowers on the left and red flowers on the right. And as I took a step down, I could smell spring in the air. Like, come on. I said,
I'm going to give you some advice, okay? When she starts to give you the story that meanders and goes down rabbit holes, just tell me how your day was first. In other words, how did you feel? And then you can tell me the story, because then I can keep track at my own leisure. But as I'm trying to follow your story just to get to where you're at, ask your wives, all you guys, ask your wives to tell you what they felt, and then they can give you the backstory.
No. No, my wife likes to start conversations when I'm not even in the room. And when I say, I'm sorry, honey, I'm in the other room. And she goes, you never listened to me. I said, if I wasn't listening, I wouldn't have known that you were talking to me. I just can't understand what you're saying because there's like 30, 40 feet of house between us.
I don't have
but she gets mad. And this is after 21 years. She knows that because of the way my brain works, my brain is always thinking of something else, problem solving, creating something in my brain. And so I'll hear a sound, but there aren't words yet. And it's not until I realize, oh, she's talking to me. And then I'll say to my wife, honey, I didn't catch the first 30 seconds of what you said. I didn't realize you was talking to me. And she gets mad because once she just said, look, we're the only two people in this house. So if I'm talking, assume I'm talking to you.
What about the cats and the dog?
Let me get to that. I said, okay, fine. So we were watching television, and I just finished eating dinner. I went and got some dessert, and I came back with the dessert. My wife says, did you get enough to eat? And I said, yes, dinner was delicious. I'm having some pie. Would you like some? And she says, I'm talking to the cat.
There you go. My wife will get angry at me because I don't have a good poker face for these things. Like when you say, just tell me how your day went, and then I can. But then if she's getting really descriptive, and this is common with every woman I've ever talked to, I start to zone out, and I'm thinking about the show tomorrow. I'm thinking about my gig next week, whatever. But it shows on my face, and they get angry at me. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have. I don't think I was built with the attention span to listen to women talk, and it shows on my face, and there's no way I can hide it, and it gets me in trouble, which is why they all hate me.
Get a bigger mustache.
More time in self-flogging, because then that's where your head is at anyway.
Right, that's where I'm at. You're right, absolutely. So yeah, this is very interesting stuff. Hopefully, what we do have. Most of my demographic is Gen Z men. So not Gen Z women. We don't have a lot of women in the audience here, but we do like a 15% female audience. But hopefully somebody will be inclined to work with you. Now, is online dating the bigger thing, or speed dating? I mean, what is
so? I think it was last year, 2024. Roughly 61% of couples met through some sort of online connection, whether it was a dating site or a social media. And I believe within the next 5 years, that's going to be 75+%. I mean, it's not going away. It's how people meet, because we no longer live in environments, particularly midlife people, in environments where you're surrounded by single eligible people. The problem is, in the online dating world, most people do such a shitty job of putting together a profile. They're frustrated. It doesn't necessarily mean 60% of people are in relationship. It just means that's what they're meeting.
I'm almost tempted, because there are these LinkedIn profile people who help you get your LinkedIn profile looking professional. I'm almost tempted to go on a dating site and see what people put on their profiles. Like, can you give us examples of like common mistakes they might make? Or
I mean, the truth. Well, first off, I got to tell you, I'm on the dating apps myself. I'd say 97% of men and women's profiles are so poorly done, poor quality photographs, poor headshots. They're more focused on the sushi plate they ate or having their finger touching the Eiffel Tower versus a real quality headshot. So just
more tasteful nudes.
Yeah. Certainly if you're leading with, from that perspective of a boudoir shot, then don't get mad when you say to me, men only want sex with me. Well, you just led with sex, so that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I think they led with sensual, and guys just mistook it for sex.
I've talked about this. Women's main, maybe I'm overstating this, but what you hear often is they don't like to be objectified. But then on social media, do you like my hair? Do you like my boobs? Do you like my legs? It's like you're objectifying yourself. You're asking me to objectify you. And then you say, well, you're being objectified too much.
By the way, women's biggest complaint is men's profiles where they're holding up the fish. That's the number one complaint. Or guys that misrepresent their height. That's the one.
Is it because it's symbolic? Is it because fish is symbolic of what some men think women are like? They're a good catch. Look what I got here. I got an 18-pounder, and I may throw her back because she's more weight than I.
I was thinking it represents I can feed you kind of thing, but it could be what you described as well, GD.
Right. So congratulations on your 200,000 subscribers.
Thank you.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the 6 figures out of YouTube. I don't know many people who are making real money with using YouTube.
Yeah.
Any like books or any of that kind of stuff in the future, or writing?
I mean, I have a book. It's called "What the Heck Is Self-Love Anyway? A Journey of Personal Development, Self-Help, and Spiritual Work." I mean, I'm writing a third book right now. It's just, writing can be a real gigantic pain. So I go in and out of writing.
I hear you.
It's like a relationship. It's like a long-term relationship, and you're just not sure if you want to be in it.
You know what, GD, you're absolutely right. Sometimes that's how I feel.
Yeah, and if you're doing if you're sustaining yourself with YouTube, why even bother? I mean, most people write the book just as an authority piece. It gives me, something to establish why you should listen to me. But if you already got that going on, well, you don't even need the book.
Yeah. And by the way, it's not YouTube alone. It's my coaching practice and my other things that represents my income. It's not just YouTube alone.
Well, we really
now I'm not impressed anymore. Forget it.
I haven't figured out the self-love part. Maybe I will. Where I can just let go of the self-loathing part. But this is at least at a minimum been a fun conversation, something to think about, and hopefully some women out there will be. Because I know that's your main thing. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm honored to be on, guys. This was a lot of fun.
I'll say you got to come back because I'm sure we haven't milked every possible thing that we could milk out of
guys. Whenever you want me, I will be. By the way, as you can tell, I have a comedic nature within me, so it's not as if I can't. I may not be as skilled as you guys are, but I try to keep up with you.
You have a good media personality, definitely.
This may be short notice, John, but I think we have an opening on January 7th. Is that too late, Matt? Can he do January 7th?
Next year?
No, last week.
Last week? No, that day was full.
Oh.
You basically talked for the whole 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay. I could talk less. And leave room for John.
Jonathan, the link to your YouTube is in the description. For the people on the radio side, it's youtube.com/Jonathan Aslay. And we appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Well, thank you, guys.
I should have asked this already. Do you prefer to be called Jonathan or John or Johnny or
I
Ethan?
prefer Jonathan, but you know what? You guys can call me just so long as I respond. I'm good with anything.
Don't call him late for dinner.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, exactly.
Have a great day.
Thanks for
All
being
right,
here,
guys.
Paul.
Take care.
Stay safe. Bye for now.
Bye now.
Jonathan Aslay. Interesting stuff there. A couple of things that I hadn't thought about. I'm not sure.
I'm not touching it, Matt, but I need you to swap places.
What happened?
I needed you to swap places. I wasn't going to touch it so that you couldn't blame the black guy if something went wrong.
Would I blame the black guy? I don't.
Right after you finish blaming the cripple.
We don't even have a black guy, do we?
Black guy. Well, I'm not red anymore.
That's true. Ron looks awfully white lately. What's with that? Ron
privilege.
Never looked so white.
It's privilege.
Has got something wrong with him? Is there something wrong?
Yeah, this shitty system.
Oh man, you just can't get over this talk. It's what we got? 3 more. Ooh, what happened over there?
We'll do better. That's all.
I saw myself on this big monitor.
Stream ads do better.
Yeah. We'll do better. We only got 3 more days. Deal with it. Get it. But if you need to,
it's been horrible the entire run on here. The audio is terrible. Like half the time you can't hear Matt. Then GD is really loud.
Well, that should improve the program. If you can't,
it sounds like you're having a stroke most of the time because it'll start and it'll be like,
That's right. I am having a stroke half the time. So.
Well, I'm looking at the volume levels, and my volume on mine is like really, really high up there. I didn't touch it. I never said it. And Matt's is really low.
Nope, mine's not low.
It was before.
I know. I just raised it up. I just raised it up. I don't know how it got low.
No, I can watch you move it. It's weird.
Yeah. And I'm just noticing when Ron said that. I mean, when Ron said the thing about the volume, I'm like, really? Just like that.
Elron. We should call him Elron Kane.
L. Ron Cupboard.
Yeah. Yeah. So, anything coming up this week as far as performances? Nothing.
I'll be at Summit City Open Mic tomorrow night.
What city?
Summit City.
Oh, isn't that in Fort Wayne? Fort Wayne.
Fort Wayne.
I have Williamsport this Saturday. Back Alley Laughs at Back Alley Bar and Grill. Show starts at 8 p.m. $10 cover.
Wow. And eat at Minucci's, right? Oh no,
Of course.
we don't. Okay. You want to wrap this up, or you got more to say? Anybody got? Wow, it's just so different from looking from here to here. Different, very bright over here. Too bright. I don't know. See, that was an interesting conversation. I think. Midlife dating. Let's just why don't we just all do what Steven does and just date his Palm, Rosie Palm, in the Five Sisters of Love.
Oh yeah, a little 5-to-1. Know yourself.
Be honest. If you were in Jonathan's position though, and you got all these horny women asking you, it's like a fox guarding the hen house. No, I mean, it's like I'd be getting laid like by a different woman every night, a different YouTuber, YouTube watcher. Come on out to LA for a day for the 3-hour stay at the local motel.
When I was single, I could whore around for a little bit, but I like stability. I really do enjoy stability. I didn't mind the dating so much. I like meeting new people and stuff like that, and the thrill of the first time you tie them up and throw them in the back of a car, and but I like stability.
So you're homosexual, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
it's exactly.
Same. I too am gay for stability.
Did you say disability?
Both. I'm gay for both.
All right. So I'll wrap this up then. Is that what you're telling me? Just crash it into a wall? Is that what
Sounds
you're saying?
like an early rapper.
Unless Ron has
no, he
something
doesn't.
called show business.
He doesn't. Ron is angry at the world. He's ready to kill everybody.
No, just the people at Streamlabs.
Yeah.
Customer service at Streamlabs. You know what? It's cheap. You get what you pay for, right? So I got to up the dollar amount. We'll see if we get it figured out. 3 more days. We'll get through Friday, and then next week we'll have a better system.
Hey, at least they could give you a real cost and not an estimate that was way out of.
Oh, so this is we're getting to the real. Lay down on the couch. We'll talk. You want to give me the phone number of your mechanic? I'll call him right now. Put him on the air.
Let's start this.
I'm gonna get it straightened out. I'm gonna run up and talk to him face to face and get it straightened out.
You tell him, listen, I am the king of lube, and I don't mean
Jiffy.
I'm just gonna walk in with some Crisco and say, "Get ready."
I'm gonna be doing the fucking here.
Yeah. So let's talk about this quote.
No, you're doing it wrong, Matt. It's like this. It's like, okay, guys, let's talk about this quote.
and also, it's not one finger. It's all right.
I have to be kind of impressed a little bit that you had the glove at the ready.
Ready. I would be a little weirded out, but then it hits me every time that he's sitting next to a shelf full of dicks. So it's not super weird.
It's not a shelf full of dicks. It's a shelf full of toys. Okay, not all of them are dicks. Some of them are vaginas.
People are just full of advice. I don't know if you've noticed this. People are full of advice. The last night I made this like,
what the fuck, GD? Are you like breaking into hospitals? What are you doing?
Oh well, no. Wait a second. Here we go.
Oh God.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Oh, by the way, the torso sex doll thing still on hold.
There.
I don't have links to them yet, but
my God.
Where do you keep the colonoscopy camera?
What do you? He's got that too.
God damn it.
Wait, what is that? That's a colonoscopy camera? You showed it too fast. We didn't get a good look at it.
That was the rigid model.
See, aren't they supposed to be flexible, like on a hose or something? Not just like a straight stick you jam it in.
Oh, well, if you want the flexible one, then
you have to. You can't just grab like a plunger handle and ram it up a guy's ass.
Yeah, you're talking about this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I've ever had a colonoscopy, and I refuse to have one, even though I probably have ass cancer, which is not a joke, by the way. I probably have ass cancer.
The reason why you have the flexible one and the inflexible one is because some people are stubborn, and they don't want to listen, and especially the ones that don't drink the fluid. They don't drink the fluid and get all the shit out, and so you have to like stick your camera, and your camera's going through all this extra shit that it shouldn't have to go through. So that's when you punish them with the rigid one.
Colon cleanse. Yes. That's probably part of the reason.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! That's loud.
What were you listening to?
Sorry, I almost burst my eardrum.
Wow. All right. I'm gonna crash it. I'm just saying people are full of advice. I left like a depressing post on Facebook, and everybody's trying to tell me how to get out of my funk. You know how to get out of my funk?
Now, did y'all know that the stethoscopes have like a volume setting? They're adjustable.
I did not know that.
I didn't realize that either. I had, if you notice, there's like a big circle and a little circle. You can flip this, or you can turn this around, so you can have the small circle, and then you have a lower volume, or you can turn around like this and have the big circle for more volume.
How many people do you think listen right now actually have a stethoscope?
72%.
No, I'm betting more people have colon cameras than.
I think you should put that survey. What was the last survey you put on there about? You did a survey on TikTok with one of our guests, and not TikTok. Where'd you put the survey? The last guest we had. You put
in Spotify.
Was it Spotify?
Yeah.
What happened? What was the results of that survey?
I never look.
Oh, okay.
And it's not a colon camera; it's a point of view camera. That's different.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
What does that mean? And when you see point, because I know what point of view generally means in like directorial.
So like POV porn is like the dude's doing the chick, but you're seeing it from his perspective.
No, there was an article I read that said that is the most dangerous. I don't know, for your mental health, not to look at that ever. And I was like, why? What is it about that is bad for your mental health? Do you have a? I know you both have gone to psychiatric training. What's bad? What's wrong with looking at porn like that?
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of porn, but
I'm not asking you as a fan of porn. I'm asking you as a psychiatric expert.
I don't know, because I don't know. I feel like just porn is porn, whether it's point of view or voyeur porn or just regular porn. I don't know.
I agree. I'm not. You know what I don't like?
I think point of view probably personalizes it too much, as opposed to allows you to enjoy it as an art form. If you're looking at the whole thing, the big picture, then it's art, But when you get to point of view, then it's just you, and I think it just affects your psyche a little bit differently.
I've never wanted to come looking at a Van Gogh, so I don't necessarily think it's art.
Well, really, which Van Goghs have you looked at? Let's talk about this. Which Van Goghs have you been looking at?
I don't know. I prefer to Van Cum.
See, this is what ruined it from. Well, maybe it was just age that ruined it for me. But from the 70s to the 80s, it was like you just. They wouldn't show like butthole cams or whatever. Everything became way too zoomed in. Let's like watch the jizz coming out of her nose as he's choking on his cock. It just like, wow, man! Like people actually get off on like seeing it. a cock and an ass. Like, no, enough to see them on the bed, him on top of her. You can
Right,
imagine.
that's what I'm saying. It's the art form. When you look at the whole big picture, it's an art form. When you
Yeah.
get the point of view, it then becomes too personalized, and then that's
Oh,
what
that's.
you start
I
to.
thought point of view was actually like the guy holding the camera or something, or the girl holding.
I mean, he's usually holding it, but it's usually like it's like a GoPro on a headband.
Yeah, only you strap the GoPro to end the penis, and you go like that.
That would be interesting. Like, yeah, penis cam.
I use badge cam in one of my comedy shows.
Yeah, you'd have to have a very skilled penis to actually operate the camera and still have sex at the same time, right?
Yeah,
probably.
One of my shows we did badge cam.
All right. Okay, then that's the show. That's where we're ending it, right on the penis cam.
I love penis cam.
All right. Any of you guys want to say like any words?
Don't forget to turn on your radio.
Word the phrase that pays.
Yeah.
Damn, that's what Steven said. First time caller, long time listener, or something like that.
I thought it was penis cam.